Hello, YouTubes. I'm doing a live broadcast, and you'll notice that there is no one there, and I don't expect anyone to be there for a very long time, if at all. Okay, so I was watching a bunch of YouTubes about unboxing blind boxes, and the same name kept coming up. People opening WorldTravelNerd boxes. So I went ahead and bought a couple. I did not record a opening, an unboxing video. I should have. It was pretty good. So I decided to buy some more. He puts out blind boxes on a regular basis. You find out about them on his Instagram, and I will link his Instagram below. And behind me, you can see the glorious mess that is my office. Okay, so I bought 3 from him. I bought a $12, a $55, and a $100. 12 is ridiculously low. I have not seen, and that's shipped. It probably cost much more than that to ship the $12 one. They all came together, so it probably will even that. But $12 one, and then the 55 I would call a medium-priced blind box from the ones I've bought. I've bought a lot. And the $100 is definitely not the top, but it's somewhere in the middle there. Okay. I'm going to go through these. I'm also going to talk about what I think they're worth. I'll do some comparison to eBay sold, which not everyone likes to do. Everyone's got their own app they like to use, Go Collect or whatever the case might be. And I'll talk about that as well, about how I value comics. All right, so let's do the $12 one. So it's themed and backwards. At least that's what the screen says. Utility belt, $12. So the expectation is Batman. Let's see what we got. Okay. So number 1 was Batman Legend of the Dark Knight annual number 1. Yes. 1991. The name at the bottom is kind of the saga within Dark Knight. Okay, funny story. I was on eBay looking for a particular signature, and I came across a comic that I thought said that it had the signature. When I looked at the comic, it had someone else's signature on it. So thinking I was going to be helpful, I messaged the guy through eBay and was like, hey, just a heads up, that's so-and-so signature, not so-and-so. Totally over Messenger, coming over like a douchebag. I was wrong. It is the signature I thought it was, but the guy didn't label it as that signature. Anyways, I was wrong. The guy was right. I came across as a douchebag and an idiot. I should probably just buy the comic to apologize. And I might do that. But I don't want the comic. Okay. Yeah, so I have this comic. But it's a cool comic. Batman Legends, The Dark Knight did well, while Detective Comics and Batman series were kind of flailing. Speaking of the devil, Detective Comics number 617. Creepy cover. But it's the first printing. They didn't do a whole lot of second printing in the 90s. Batman and Detective Comics did a few. They'd always put the number of the printing up here. They kind of underestimated the run of some of these comics. So let's talk about value. So this is marked at $3. The other one was at $4. Okay. If I had to look this comic up on eBay, sold, the price is going to be all over the place. It's going to be everything from a guy selling a pack of 10, a 10 run, so 610 to 620, and this happens to be one of them, for like $10, which makes it a dollar comic. The common price on eBay is a $2 price. That's not shipped. That's just bid on. The shipped is normally between $3 to $5. What most people do is they'll buy a bunch from the same guy, so they get a pack of 20. Shipping's way down. It pushes the shipping down to, 20 cents a unit, and then you get the price you actually want. But if you had to just go out and buy this comic, it's gonna be $5. Easy. It's the shipping. If you find it at your local comic store, it'll probably be in a $1 bin, maybe a 50-cent bin. It's a $2 comic in my mind. The quality of this comic's good. I mean, it's not a perfect comic. There is no such thing as a perfect comic, but color's good. I have the comic. That's why I know a little bit about the value. I bought this comic for 10 cents because I buy comics in bulk. So is it $3? I don't think so. It's a $2 comic. The other one, The Dark Knight, probably a $2 comic as well. The annuals did not do as well. I have to answer someone. Okay, sorry about that. I got a reply back from the eBay guy. He was like, yeah, if you read the description, it'll tell you that. So embarrassing. So this lot was $12. I think I'm at about $4. I don't care how much the value of the comics is. If I need it, it's worth. I mean, it's priceless. Okay, so DK2 Dark Knight strikes again. There are 3 Dark Knights who strike again. So there's DK1, DK2, DK3. 3 is the 3 lines, the Roman numerals. It's not bad. It's kind of the size of a small trade. I would not spend $5 on this, but I've read it. That is why. But this is a tricky one again. You can buy on eBay all 3 issues of this. So this is number 2, number 1, and number 3 for $10. It's not bad. Or you can buy them for $27 if they have the variant covers. And that's actually what's next. So we'll talk about that. I have this. $5 is close. Yeah. Okay, so this is really interesting. This is another DK2. Number one, if you know anything about DK2, it's a Frank Miller run. They ran the regular version, which is very close to a Virgin cover. Some would call Virgin, others wouldn't. And then they ran a second kind, and I think it had to do with display, that people didn't know what the comic was. But sorry, I checked my phone again. I shouldn't do that. So this is what it looks like. This is number one. The $4 price, I would have put it on the Virgin. This is actually more valuable. Like I said, I don't know if it was a lower run of the variant. This is the preferred comic to get signed because the names are so prominent. It also has the actual name of the comic, not DK2. Okay. I do not have this. I'm very happy to get this. This is a $8 comic. So, good value there. And then we have, finally, Detective Comics 987. I like this just because of the number 987. Stupid. Variant. By Brooks. It's actually a neat cover. Cadillac right there, getting their money. Good Batman pose. It says $4, which is over cover price. I would pay. Okay, first of all, I wouldn't pay for this comic. Because anything that's come out so this is 97, so it's a 2018 comic. Anything that's come out in the last 2 to 3 years, the prices are inflated. You're still waiting for that kick to drop where it goes like into the dollar bin or goes to $2 or 50 cents. But people will pay $4 for this comic. No doubt. 3, 4, somewhere in there. I wouldn't, but yeah. So what do we got? $2, $2. It's 4, 8, 7.15. So I'm at about $20 value wise. I don't have this in my collection, so it's going in to the collection. I got 2 out of 5 to keep. I like it. That's great. 40%, great. So $12 became 20, and the 2 that I'm keeping are about $12. So I'm happy with that. Okay, we're gonna move on to the next one. I know what I'm saying can be controversial because collecting comics in itself is controversial. Different people price things differently. Different people have different feelings. Some people will look at the quality. So when I'm pricing a comic, I go, what will it take me to replace this comic? Do I care about condition? I do to some degree. If it's missing the cover, that kind of sucks. Unless it's a golden or a key. I have the first appearance of the Red Hood without a cover, which hurts a lot, but it's still, A, it's high value to me, but B, it carries some value even without the cover. Okay, so you will never get an agreement on what something is worth, and when you get blind boxes, realize that. What WorldTravelNerd tries to do, or Jacob tries to do, is he pushes what he believes is the value way over what you're paying for the box. So even if you conservatively price what he's given you, you will go over the value of what you paid. And I'm telling you right now, you're already over the value just because of the shipping charges that you are not getting charged. This guy is not doing this because he's making, $100K. He's doing this because he loves comics. All right, let's talk about the next one. Yeah. Once I've shown you this, I can't go back. Okay, so this is Strong Independent Women, $55. Nice thing about the name is you know exactly what you're getting. I'm gonna get comics that are featuring women. So X Factor number 48. It's part of the Judgment War. Yeah. Oh. Okay. Time for some honest truth. There's a $4 tag on this. X Factor Comics. From this series, from this volume, all day long, $1.50. I know that hurts. Some people really buried themselves into X Factor thinking it was going to be the big payout. Maybe a lesson for the collections we've got going today. Icon, the results are in. I'd be very surprised if this is a $10 comic. It's very clean. It's very, very clean. Colors are good. No rippling. Yeah, it might be a 9.8, and that's maybe why the $10 price tag is the number 4. No one really got behind Icon, so the runs are pretty low by the time they got to issue number 4. It's an interesting cover because she's taking a home pregnancy test. Yeah. Okay. We could talk about this. Black Cat, number 1. It's the variant. This variant was very popular among certain people who like the bombshell stuff. This comic looks like it's gone through a rolling pin of doom. We got color breaks. We got folds. Corners are smashed. It's really hard for me to say this is a $4 comic, and I'll tell you why. If it was a good reader, if it had a good storyline, interesting characters, maybe, but it's not. So, yeah. I think it's $4. Teen Titans Spotlight #1. Starfire. It's not a Starfire comic. It's a Teen Titans Spotlight comic. This series got some traction when it first came out. Continues to have some traction. It is a newsstand issue. I have this exact comic, a newsstand, everything. I think it's probably $2, $2 or $3. Yeah, something in that range. 1986. It looks really good for 1986. A couple folds. Yeah. Okay, so this is a little exciting. So let's talk about this. Silver Sable and the Wild Pack, not a popular comic. So we have Deadpool, and we have Daredevil. So in this comic, Deadpool is the antagonist, and Daredevil and Silver Sable are teaming up. Okay, so let's talk about the story that Deadpool appears in here. You can also find it in Deadpool Classics. It got reprinted as part of Deadpool Classics, which is actually a good thing. It means that the Deadpool audience and creators thought that it was very indicative of how Deadpool acts and did act. This comic, because of Deadpool, you could probably pull $4 off it, $4 or $5. And it's got a signature. So Stephen Butler signs everything. He signs more than Stan Lee signed in the last 10 years. He signed more in the last year. So back when this was signed, which is 94, they weren't charging for signatures. You go to a con or a signing and you buy the comic, or you bring your own comic and you lay it down and you get a signature. They're not charging. What his comic signature is valued at today is probably around $10, $10 or $12. What's neat about this signature, which probably adds another $5 onto it, is it's the short version of his signature. He's only signed Steven. Normally, he signs Stephen Butler and then whatever, the date or whatever. It's definitely his signature. It's neat. So what would I put at this comic? I put it at $20, which is what it was originally priced at on that green label. Very neat, though. Definitely going to put it in the collection. I sound like such a douchebag when I say the collection. Okay. So that's that one. So Marvel Knights. I've talked about Marvel Knights before. This is Marvel Knights Spider-Man. It's this Marvel Knights being the saga. There's a note here that says Mary Jane in Iron Man armor. And here we have the opposite thing going on here. We've got a 12 at the top and then a 650 at the bottom. I think the 650 is probably right. You might be able to get 8 depending on the person and the day. Yeah. Okay, here you have X-Men Black, Mystique number 1. I'm not a fan of Mystique. I think that, or should I say, I'm not a fan of the writing of Mystique in general. I think that it could be much, much better. Yeah, but there are some real fanboys out there. This is the second printing. Which means this did better than they thought it would. So that's good. $5, sure. Let's do $5. So here's something I'm completely out of sync with. This is Ruby. I think there's 8 seasons of the series. Anime series. I don't know if I would ever buy a Ruby comic. And I'm meant to be buying every comic between 1980 and today. Yeah, they used the same cover on some other Ruby like board game stuff. Yeah. I don't know what to tell you. $5 over cover price. Really? It is number 1, so there might be something there. Okay, so let's talk about this one. I think we have another one. And this one. Okay. So $5, $3. What do you think? Okay, so problem with this one. Empire sucked. To be frank. If you have an Empire comic, sell it soon. Because it's going to tank to the floor. Captain Marvel, it's a very hit or miss audience. Very hit or miss. So this is also a second printing. And the reason why this one was so popular was that it's set in the future. Everyone's dead. And this just, just got Rowan's hammer. So I would probably say that they're both $3. Tell me what you think about. So they've started doing. Well, they didn't start doing it. They've done it for a while now. The legacy number versus the real number. How do you feel about that? Okay, so I love this cover. Absolutely love it. Okay, so I'm from the Bay Area. I'm about 40 minutes south of San Francisco. Sorry. I work in San Francisco, so this whole Golden Gate Bridge stuff going on here means a lot. Taskmaster, not one of my favorite bad guys, but not bad. And finally, a widow on a comic that's not looking like a Barbie doll. Like she actually is in action. $3? Yes, sir. I would pay $5. Love that. Lois Lane with the Question, issue number 4. I like the fact that she's with the Question. I think the Question is not a character a lot of DC fans or comic fans in general know about. It's a Vertigo character that kind of crossed over into DC from the imprint. Lois Lane, not a great series of comics just yet. The Superman's girlfriend, Lois Lane, from the 60s and 70s, granted, that name has problems, right? Like, you're making Lois Lane not stand by herself. She has to rely on Superman to actually get some recognition. That was a fun series. Lois Lane was always killing Superman in some way, accidentally, or marrying someone. Always marrying someone. That does not happen in new Lois Lanes. Would I pay $2 for it? Yes, I would. I would pay $2. Black Cat. Again, to go with the scar tissue Black Cat that we looked at. $8. So this is the A issue. I think it's around $8. What I like about it is Black Cat's taking the front. It's also a full face of Black Cat, which Spider-Man artists don't often get to do. Cover full faces. It's kind of neat. Yeah, I like it. The one's a little too big. That's a very DC one. Okay, let's talk about this nonsense. I want to talk about that. That's gonna hurt. Betty Page, #1. I am sure that to someone this is worth $8. I have other Betty Page comics in my collection. I probably wouldn't spend more than $2 on a Betty Page comic. Maybe not $1. I think it's ridiculous that they brought it back from the 50s, which made sense in the 50s or 60s or whatever it was. I can't wait for this series, this sets of volumes to just disappear. Now, am I going to put it in my collection? Yes. Will I see it ever again? Probably not. Wow, getting truthful over here. Okay, let's talk about conventions. When you go to a convention, people give you free comics. People give you comics that are only made in conventions. And people get comics signed and they hand those out for a price. Hope was a Three Rivers Comic Con convention. It's a fairly well-known comic convention. And this is a fairly well-known comic. I knew exactly what it was when it came out. I wish that they followed suit of Harley Quinn, where the Comic-Con cover is like, oh, you're at a Comic-Con because all the people are dressed up and really fat. This guy. That's not how Comic-Cons are, but kind of. The problem is the price on this is $10. The problem is that this comic goes on eBay, sold $12 with a big fat personalized signature. This is not a $10 comic. This is the only, and I've gone through 5 or 6 World Travelers blind boxes. This is the only miss that I would call a miss. Like, if I got myself my $1 I'm like, just the day. The day can be $1. Not a big deal. This is a miss. So that's the comics for the Strong Independent Women. He hit the title on the head. So it's perfect. Was it worth $55? The big hitter in that was the Silver Sable. Did it hit? Yes, I think it actually hit. The Silver Sable. There is value there, especially with Steven's signature. It's not a normal Steven Butler signature. Yeah. Was it worth $55 overall? It's close. And I got out of that pack of 13 comics. 13? No, there's more than that. 2, 4, 6, 10, 12. Yeah, 13 or 14 comics. I got about 10 comics out of that. Love it. Love it. All right, we're going to go through this. I have a Spider-Man one that was $100. I'm going to go through it pretty quickly. The same deal is on this one, where just because I say a price doesn't mean I'm disagreeing with Jacob. I'm not disagreeing at all. I'm happy I spent $100 on this. I got quite a few comics out of it. There's stuff that I haven't seen before, so only also hit on some characters that I really like. So I'm gonna go through this quickly. Spider-Man Classics #9. So you got Spider-Man versus the Fantastic Four in that. This is neat. Do not have this. So this is Marvel Team Up number 150, and it's the last copy. That was neat. Venom is so overly inflated hot right now. So that's an Amazing Spider-Man number 374. This one I really love. That's Kraven coming out of the grave to pull Spider-Man back in. Love the Kraven reference. Love that it doesn't look like a standard Spider-Man cover. All good on that one. I think it's worth more than $3. Here you have Amazing Spider-Man number 13. Good action shot there. A little perspective is a little out of whack. But yeah, it's a goodie. Marvel Tales. Back, when this was made, Spider-Man was constantly worried about the people around him. So that's good. This is neat to get this. It's a recognizable cover, but it's this is the more photorealistic version. I think it's a variant K of Torment. This is $25 on it. I would believe that someone would pay $25 for that. I believe it. It's a little okay. Miles Morales, Spider-Man number 4. Very overrated. This is the Halloween comic number 0. It's $10. if you don't sell this in the next 3 months, it's going to be worth less than $1. Another Craven. I like it. It's good. And then based on the Gamerverse, we have Spider-Man with all his fancy gear. Okay. Spider-Man always getting his clothes ripped off. He never did check in with Captain America about how not to get your clothes ripped off. This is a cool comic. I have it. You know, Spider-Man, Thrasher, Moon Knight, and then Punisher and Nova. All 5 of those guys have been hot at different times. 2 of them, Spider-Man and Punisher, are hot right now. Moon Knight's going to be hot soon. So is Nova. I don't know if anyone's going to take a shot on Thrasher. We'll see. A Spider-Man fighting a spider. Always good. All right. So here we have a run. Normally I love runs in blind boxes. And this one's a really good one. Jake did a great job putting this together. All the comics are similar quality, and that's probably near mint. Maybe a little short of that, like maybe a 9.6. 9.6. This has got a bit of a roll. But anyways, it's Web of Spider-Man, number 10 from number 1. Great comic. The prices on these I agree with. Everything from $2 to $10. Spider-Man symbiote costume is always gonna be hot. I have all of Web of Spider-Man. If someone wants these 1 through 10, it's yours. Let me know. And that was it. I definitely feel like I got $100 out of this. There's some cool stuff, like the Craven stuff is really cool. The Spider-Man photorealistic cover of number 1, which we all love, Torment. Cool cover. So, yeah. So, WorldTravelNerd does not only do blind boxes from a certain era or certain volume set. It's all over the place. And I would say you're going to get some readers. You're going to get something that you can slab if you want. It's good. It's good stuff. The prices were very close. Yeah. Can't say a bad thing. I've bought more from him. I'll continue to buy from him. He treats people well. Doesn't charge for shipping, which is amazing. Gives you time to pay if you need time to pay. Really good guy. Instagram. WorldTravelNerd, all one word. That's it. Thanks, guys.